Episode 2. No. He breathes the word, his arms wrapping around me from behind as he presses into my back, clinging to me, killing me with every moment he holds on. Reject her. She hisses, and he tightens his arms around me. Never.
He growls.
Leslie scoffs and places her hands on her hip, acting like a petulant child, not getting her way. Then I will abort it, she says with a sinister grin. Then she shrugs. Then Colette can have the constant reminder that your baby died because of her selfishness. We all know how much you would resent her. Grady's hold loosens enough for me to know exactly where his mind is at. We have been best friends long enough for me to know how important family is to him. Unborn or not, that pup is his, and he would die for it. I inhale his smell, pressing back into his chest, memorizing the feel of the mate bond. Every millisecond of finally being in his arms feels so perfect, but it ends too soon when he steps away, a sob breaking from him as he spins and kneels before me. Colette. He whispers, clutching my hands. My body shakes, my throat aching from trying so hard not to weep in front of him. Please don't hate me. Tears stream down my face, my whole body shaking violently, and my wolf howling in my head begging me to fight a battle I have no hope of winning. Grady, reject you. Colette as my mate. He stutters and sobs as I step away with a gasp. My fingers clutch my chest, my mind muddled and vision all a blur as I nod in agreement. Then I turn to run out the door.
Where is she?
I hear the alpha in my head, and I grimace at the thought of telling him she isn't coming. The door opens behind me, and I look over my shoulder, watching as Leslie saunters over. You need to inform Lycan King Merikh that I won't be coming. She smirks. I don't have the strength to argue with her. My father says it will be better coming from a weaker female. And if I say no? I ask, knowing the consequence is likely to be a beating. Can't, she shrugs, walking backwards as Grady rushes out the door. He tries to come to me, but Leslie grabs his hands, pulling him away. Dad will give you the alpha order any minute. Oh, and happy birthday, by the way. She grins as she preens over Grady, both of them watching me. I've had awful birthdays before, but today's is by far the most painful. Stall the Lycan King until I can find a replacement. Inform him Leslie will not be coming, the alpha orders on cue, and I sigh. Spinning on my heels and leave my heart behind me, I rush to the ballroom in record time. Only a minute to spare before Leslie is expected to walk down the aisle. As I pass the mirror on the wall, I freeze, wiping my face before pulling in 3 ragged breaths. You can do this, Colette. I recite, my nerves gnawing away at any real bravado I have, so I dig deep, turning to my anger and pain for strength as I move to the double doors and throw them open. The man at the end of the aisle is impossible to miss, his back to me as he speaks with one of his own clan. I can only assume he is Alpha Merikh, and my skin grows cold. My idle hands smooth the bodice of my dress as I try to focus on my erratic breathing, my nerves frayed as I march down the aisle toward potential doom. Each step brings me frighteningly closer to the mountain of a Lycan. I lick my lips, ready to give him the speech I whipped up, but I freeze as he turns to face me fully, my breath catching in my throat and eyes growing wide. I am utterly distracted by his looks. Eyes as green as emeralds, a facial structure carved by the heavens, and an imposing aura that entraps you, draws you in. And much to my surprise, no scar marks his perfect face. I tilt my head, confused. This can't be Alpha Merikh. I've heard stories of the Alpha of Death and the scars that have kept him hidden for years. But this guy is ethereal. He is handsome in the truest form. He is literal perfection. How am I supposed to tell him his alpha is being stood up? You do not look like the picture provided, he says, his eyebrow arched in curiosity. You are not Alpha Merikh, I say, dumbfounded. He looks amused, shoving his hands into his pockets, rocking back on his feet. No, he asks, and I furrow my brows. I mean, are you Alpha Merikh? I whisper. You do not think I am, so I must not be, he answers with a shrug, and I feel a wave of relief come over me. I need you to give a message to your alpha, or take me to him to deliver it myself. but it is urgent. I rush out. I can deliver a message. His contracted mate will not attend the ceremony. I tell him, "Are you telling me that the treaty is dead?" He asks.
No.
No, they're going to find him a new mate. A better one. I squeak out, looking around for Alpha Bentley, praying he hurries up before Alpha Merikh makes his way out expecting to start a ceremony that isn't happening. At least not yet. And who could be better than the Alpha's daughter? He raises a brow. Anyone would be better than Leslie. I mutter under my breath. Then I should choose a mate of my own liking. He offers. I stare at him horrified that he heard me, then his words settle in, and my horror turns to terror when I realize he is talking about himself, which means, "Why, you are Alpha Merikh," I whisper, awareness trickling down my spine as I force myself to meet his amused gaze. I just spoke like an equal to the Alpha of Death. The Lycan king himself. "I am," he asks, a cocky grin on his plush lips. I thought you would look different." I stutter, wringing my hands, unsure of how to act in the presence of royalty. Am I supposed to bow? "You expected a face full of scars?" He leans forward, whispering. "I have scars, just not where you can see them when I am clothed." He winks at me, and my cheeks heat. "Colette," Alpha Bentley says, rushing up to me. I'm not sure I have ever been happy to see this man, but right now is an exception as he pulls Alpha Merikh's attention from me. "Did you deliver the news to Alpha Merikh?" "She has informed me," Merikh says, his eyes locking back on mine as if we are in some silent battle I'm not privy to. "I have found you a replacement for my daughter." Alpha Bentley rushes out, his eyes pleading for mercy. "No need," Merikh says, turning to face me once more, mischief swirling around him. "I will be choosing my own mate." "Yes, I suppose that would be fair, given the circumstances." Alpha Bentley grabs hold of my arm, dragging me away. "Come, Colette, Leslie is in need of you." Merikh growls possessively, taking my free arm and pulling me gently toward him. I gasp out in shock, an arm in each man's hands as I look up at Alpha Merikh, confused. "I want Colette. I will be taking her as my mate," he announces, and my mouth goes dry. "Me?" I rasp out shocked, my eyebrows shooting up to my hairline as I try to process his insane request.
Full story is available at novelpalace.com. Click the link in the comment section to get it free.